So the Danish government has announced that its trial medicinal cannabis program will become permanent starting in 2026, which is amazing. This decision follows a steady increase of the use of medicinal cannabis since the trial began in 2018. Initially launched as a pilot program to help patients with conditions like multiple sclerosis, cancer, and chronic pain, the initiative allowed cannabis to be prescribed for pain relief when traditional medications were ineffective. Minister of the Interior and Health, Sophie Lade, however you say that, sorry, not Danish, emphasized that many patients have reported significant improvements in their quality of life. While some doctors have hesitated to prescribe cannabis due to uncertainty about its effectiveness, the government plans to enhance guidance for both patients and practitioners. An evaluation by the Danish Medicines Agency confirmed no safety concerns during the trial period, though it also noted that more medical evidence is needed to support broader treatment use. I think that's a huge pen to stick in that right there, by the way. No safety concerns during actual medical trials. Take note, U.S. Patient advocacy groups like the Danish Cancer Society are optimistic that making the program permanent will boost doctors' confidence and improve access for those in need. So this is an amazing story. I tried to pick a couple things that were super positive today. More access for patients is amazing. Research actually showing that there is positive indications for cannabis and there are no negative effects to its use by those users is huge, 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 because our government keeps screaming, we need proof that it's not going to hurt you. Look at studies in places that are actually doing medical research and not just perpetuating fear-mongering. So I'm going to throw it back to you guys, but I'm happy about this one. And cheers, Iodine.
Yeah. Some Scandinavian slappers coming. Yeah.
Right. This is great news. This is good news over here. Look at this. We got a good news show day going on today.
Oh, we have lots of news show every day.
I'm saying like a majority of the stories are all positive news today in the lineup, you guys.
Yeah, what could be more positive than getting high in Denmark? I love it.
Right?
Yeah, I've been screaming for years at the medical profession, stop being such pussies and take a look back at 5,000 years of physicians and medical practitioners using cannabis. Nobody, no kids were born with 3 legs, 4 eyes. It's not a teratogen. People were smart enough to know if you're smoking weed and you got kids born with problems, they blame the weed. They didn't have to have, 500 triple blind fucking studies to prove it. So take a look at the history of this stuff. As I said yesterday, there's never been a cancer proven. If you're under the influence and cause an accident, that's a bad thing. But for the most part, it's not causing public health, public safety problems. And people cherry pick their fear and say this is a position when if you don't have the evidence to say that people shouldn't use cannabis for medical purposes, then pony it up. Okay, but the doctors today have no balls. They don't want to go against the DEA. They don't want to, threaten their position, their licenses. So we're going to go cautiously. Meantime, the trap's going, hey, I got a vape pen over here at Strawberry. You want some? Come buy it. So the reality is that this stuff is not hurting people. No matter how much you try to twist the goddamn statistics, you can't show that it's harming human beings for using it. So just stop that shit.
It's they're holding on to what it is still. They're holding on to the fact that like a lot of the preliminary research has shown that there's with high THC doses over so long of a period, it creates psychosis in some people. And that is what is being kind of like touted as the, oh, hey, we can't let this loose because we're going to have a bunch of psychos. This is just Reefer Madness 2.0, right? It's just like, we know that the good outweighs the bad in any case with cannabis. With pharmaceutical drugs and other stuff, that's not the case. There's many, many, many cases to prove that and to back that statement up. But it's like, at the end of the day, we know that cannabis doesn't cause the other issues physiologically that other pharmaceuticals do, like kidney failure, liver failure. I mean, the list goes on. So there is no side effects with cannabis like there's with pharmaceuticals. No one can debate that. However, the doctors, the lawyers, the people who want to keep this, bound up and away from public use because they have special interests in maybe another pharma company or an alcohol distributor or a cigarette company, who knows? The list could go on, but it's all intermingled at that level, and we know that 100%. The public is aware. The awareness level's greater than it's ever been. We all have to push collectively, and that's the problem. It's like, what is it going to take? Is it going to take some ACLU lawyer, some NAACP lawyer to get together pro bono, a bunch of people to fight the government on this, and then force their hand when we know that they're on the verge of ruling on this anyway because they're sick and tired of all the bullshit? It's like the constituents are putting the senators and the Congress people's backs against the wall, but above that, there's an underlying factor that is money based, and we cannot defeat that alone.
Yes, and I want to touch on a couple things. I had one I want to touch on, and then you kept going. I was like, oh, let me hit that too.
Yeah, Jenny Beth is talking with her hands.
Oh boy, yeah, she's turning
level.
up.
She's on her level. Let's go.
Yes, and no, I think that I agree with you completely, Saman. Like, I may cause heart attack, stroke, death, but I can get a boner pill all day, right? Call Hims. Like, I just don't understand why they are also leaving the portion of the psychosis out that this motherfucker was on Wellbutrin, Trintellix, like all this shit. Oh, has been talking to themselves since age 5? Okay, cool. So maybe this was someone who already experiences psychosis. And I think I reported on a story recently. It was like the people who are experiencing heavy psychosis, if you catch it early, cannabis can actually slow down those neuroconnections that cause them to go full snap mode. So I just think that, I have a newfound hobby, right? And it's going on X and trolling the ever-living shit out of Kevin Sabet. And last night, my troll up moment was that he was like, oh, we need to make sure this, industry doesn't resemble big pharma. Okay, so my response was, hey, Kevin, show me on the doll where the cannabis industry hurts you. And also, you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth right now. Everything that you're saying and doing is fostering big pharma to come in and take this industry over. So I'd really like to see who the donors at Project Sam are. So, I think that that's what we need to follow and we need to understand and be cognizant of as an industry. But this is a huge win. Any kind of research that's actually done, and we obviously can't go beyond preclinical trials here because fuck you DEA and fuck you scheduling. But I think that this is good news and it's positive to see.
Well, I'll tell you what.
The issue of psychosis has one. Let me just touch quickly. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence. My father-in-law was a psychiatrist back in the late 40s, early 50s when they wrote the first DSM, working for the National Health Service, okay? And he took a look at the statistics for psychotic diseases, dissociative diseases, and the percentages have not changed since they first wrote that book. Now, the people who use cannabis has exploded exponentially. So if you take a look at, psychosis are still there at the same level. People are smoking weed at higher levels, and it hasn't changed. So I argue with these people, fuck you. You don't have any proof it does cause it, because this is clear circumstantial evidence that it's not weed causing psychosis. It's a natural condition humans face, and a lot of people start using weed when their psychosis, pre-psychosis, is causing them to have symptoms. If I'm smoking weed, it makes me feel better. Weed's not causing the psychosis. As Jenny alluded, at 5 years old, this kid's seeing fucking monsters. Not just under his bed. You're going, oh man, we better treat this kid. Okay.
I mean, there's that to say also that it's genetic, right? So a lot of these cannabis-induced issues, diseases, viruses, whatever, like hyperemesis syndrome, for instance, that there's new research that says that it's genetic. And so all of the people that are, experiencing this CHS are actually sharing a similar gene, right? And this is potentially, potentiated throughout all of these issues as collateral damage from cannabis and users, right? It's like it could be genetic, and some people just have. It's like alcohol, same thing, right? It's the rosacea genetic issue, right? It's like
couldn't it also though, Saman? Couldn't it just also be a side effect of smoking mids?
I mean, bro, we all know that if you smoke mids, you got issues. Okay?
But Rico, I really loved your comment in the chat. Okay, this is priceless. Okay, Rico says I can picture Dale outside of the OBGYN's office saying, "Stop being pussies." That's fucking classic right there. And on that, we're gonna go to a commercial and we're gonna be right back.